Hi, loves. Welcome back to Psychic Scoop. I'm your host, Steffi, aka Spirit Sis. I am an evidential psychic medium, professional astrologer, and intuition teacher. Today's episode is going to be astrology focused. We're moving into April with a lot of planetary energy moving in as we are getting ready for our first eclipse season of 2023. So, this one that's coming up is April 20th and it is going to be a solar eclipse and it will be in the sign of Aries. So, this episode, I am going to briefly walk through all of the zodiac signs and what you can expect in areas of your chart when we are focusing on these eclipses. Now, if you were like, what the heck is a solar eclipse? What's happening? I actually created a 25-page PDF that's going to be free, free 99. And I break down all of the big astrological events in April. I talk about the Libra full moon. I talk about what the heck is a solar eclipse, how it's going to affect you. I also have rituals in there. I have fun little tips and tricks for your zodiac sign. It's 25 pages. So I could list everything, but I would love for you to just hop on board. It's a free astrological report from yours truly. I made it with you in mind, especially because we do have a Mercury retrograde coming up as well. I include all the dates of shadow and when we can expect those changes to happen. So if you want to download that free report, please look at the show notes or the description box if you're watching on YouTube to get all of that juicy information. And that will put you on to an immediate download that you can have at the start of April so you know what the heck is going on for the entire month. And I hope that you enjoy. So, first, I just want to talk about what a solar eclipse is. A solar eclipse is when the moon passes in between the earth and the sun and casts a little bit of a shadow. So, when this solar eclipse happens on April 20th, it's the first eclipse of the year. Remember, eclipses happen in pairs. So we will have the other eclipse happening on May 5th. But what I can say about this eclipse that's very interesting, it's in a critical degree. It's in 29 degrees Aries. So depending on where Aries falls in your specific birth chart, you probably will feel this in two different places or two different houses. Now, of course, if you are doing whole sign system houses, it will be in one house. But if you're doing Placidus, it can easily fall in between where Taurus and where Aries is in your birth chart. So, what I can say about this solar eclipse is this is highly potent energy because it is Aries. Aries is that fiery, that drive, that passion, and also that disruption. It will shake things up. Or if you're not paying attention or not doing what you're supposed to be doing, it can definitely cause a little bit of disarray in your life. However, eclipses are not necessarily like, even though they're very powerful energetically, they're not necessarily going to like shake you up in that exact moment. You're going to feel it over time. It's a subtle shift. A lot of times I ask my clients in sessions like, "Hey, what happened at this time of your life?" Specifically, I will mention an eclipse that was, transiting over a big area in their birth chart. And they're like, I don't really know what happened. Oh, wait, wait, wait. That's when I got a divorce, or that's when I met my future husband, or that's when I had my kid, so things do shift, or a big move, things will happen. So it just happens over time. Like, yes, maybe you are moving, but sometimes it takes a while to either close a deal on a house or move all your stuff in or figure out deals or things like that. So that's why eclipses will start to move the energy forward on a subconscious level. And maybe we feel it, maybe we don't. It depends on how it's aspecting your chart. And that's why I love to have this awareness of it. So you can just say, okay, I know where it's impacting my chart, and I'm going to be really conscious of this. But also, I'm just going to let the eclipse energy work for me. That is the biggest thing. The universe is conspiring to get you what you want. This isn't an active time to manifest. It seems like counterintuitive because when you have this big energy coming in with the planets, with the sun, the moon, and the earth, you think, okay, well, those impact me every day. The sun and the moon impacts me every day as a human being living on earth. But the opposite, because the eclipses are just such powerhouses almost every astrologer will say, hey, hold off on the manifesting just for now and let things unfold the way they're naturally supposed to. Eclipses put you in place when you're off track. So just know that, again, if you get a little bit off track or you don't feel it right away, it takes 6 months to fully, I wanted to say evaporate. If something's evaporating, whatever, let it go. But it takes 6 months to fully integrate the power of what can happen during an eclipse portal or even during those two eclipses. So get the download, the free download, if you want to know exactly what this Aries eclipse can do. But listen now, I'm going to go through all of the zodiac signs. Listen for your sun sign, but most importantly, listen for your rising sign. Because when any astrologer goes through and tells you what to expect for the eclipses, they actually are working off of your rising sign. But the sun sign is still very important. That's still going to be affecting you and your outer world, right? So listen to both. Take it with a grain of salt. Obviously, like this is important information, but I don't want you to focus so heavy on it that it's like going to impact your April. I just want you to have this beautiful and slight aha moment when it does happen. So please enjoy all of these zodiac horoscope eclipse forecasts for April 20th, 2023. Let's start with Aries. If you're an Aries sun or an Aries rising, this is your eclipse horoscope for April, the solar eclipse, the first one. So, what I can say about you is you are in the driver's seat and it's time to take the reins back in your own life. Now, again, eclipses aren't huge changes and things you need to make in your physical world. There are going to be changes that are happening in your personal growth and your identity. And of course, while it is important to make bold risks as an Aries and to do things you are passionate about, this is also the time to go inward and really truly understand that when you take care of yourself and when you are listening to your intuition and when you are doing things that light you up, that in itself is going to move the needle. So I will just say, don't forget to practice your self-care and do things that make you happy and nourish your body and nourish yourself during this eclipse, especially because sometimes when eclipses happen over our natal sun or over our natal rising sign, it can impact our physical health as well, especially since Aries is ruled by Mars, rules of the physical body. So it's important for you to do like slow breathing exercises, maybe stretching, or even if you want to do like light walks around your neighborhood or a hit exercise or like anything that's more intense, obviously listen to what your body needs, but it's really truly tapping into the present moment and what you need. And again, you are in the driver's seat. So it's very important for you to pay attention to what is no longer serving you. And the eclipses will slowly usher that out of your life. Now, I want you to think about the last time this happened was October of 2013. So I know that was kind of a while ago, but this was the last time we felt this big Aries energy in an eclipse cycle. So what happened in that period of time in that fall of October 2013, but also think about the 6 months that followed afterward. Were you going through a move? Were you changing jobs? Were you in and out of relationships? Really kind of follow that trend. So get ready for that uprooting and that replanting. This is a very exciting time to be an Aries sun or an Aries rising. Taurus Sun and Taurus Rising, you have been through a dark night of the soul since May of 2022. You've been going through a lot of changes, a lot of aha moments, a lot of spiritual growth and awakening happening honestly the past year. Now, this eclipse is really about turning everything inward, having that trust and abundance in the universe. It could even be more spiritual channeling, more awakening, and things being forced out of your life that is no longer serving you. And it could be like a very long cycle of things that are ending. And maybe since May of 2022, things have been starting to plant within your mind space or your heart space of this isn't for me. This doesn't feel right. But because you are a committed person and you are a loyal person, you probably stick with things for way too long. So during this eclipse cycle, this is really the time for you to fully embrace change and think about where you want to go in the future. And that is letting go of this past year, whatever felt stale, if that makes sense. And also just remember that you are absolutely where you need to be right now. There's no need to rush timelines. And I think that's why you are such a deliberate person when you move and when you really want to plan your future, that you haven't made any big moves yet. So even though you haven't necessarily gone and done that thing that you want to do, this eclipse season is giving you the strength and the power and the confidence to finally make that decision. But I wrote some notes here. I just said that your subconscious has been active. So pay attention to your dreams and your intuition. Sometimes when eclipses move over, it's called the 12th house. You might feel it's called hidden enemies. I wrote that in quotes, but sometimes you just feel like people who had your back aren't necessarily like rooting for you as much as you thought they would. This is a time to really take survey of who will cheer you on, even if you drop everything and start a new career, or even if you decide to move cross country or do something completely out of character for you, which, by the way, you've been thinking about since May of 2022. If you're thinking about moving and shifting and doing something different, know that the right people will support you, and the other people that are maybe questioning or wanting to put you on a path that feeds their agenda, those people are not for you. So again, this is the time to really pay attention to what you're feeling deep inside. You can find it, right? Dig deep, find things that really excite you and your passion, and you will eventually be moving toward doing that thing. Gemini Sun and Gemini Rising. This eclipse is actually pretty fun for you. It's a fun filled adventure next cycle of 6 months where you actually are focusing on your friendships and building meaningful connections. So I would say pay attention and be open to invitations or collaborations from others. And it could just be something as simple as the planting of the seeds of, hey, I really like your energy. Maybe we can hop on a call, or maybe we can discuss this further. You might just notice that there are more people and more eyes wanting to draw you into a bigger picture thing. And also, it's just a time to have fun with your friends. It's a time to make meaningful connections. And it's a time to keep up to date with others, to listen, to have sacred circle, to open yourself up to maybe other people's opinions or other people's advice to you. And also, you will have more involvement in bigger peer groups or maybe community groups and business and anything that is altruistic in nature, like maybe humanitarian efforts, or if you're wanting to make a bigger splash in the world, this is the time where things might shift into more people around, more friends around. But also, I just want to remind you, even though there will be a lot of people moving in and out of your life, quality over quantity. Even though I said there's going to be lots of people, you'll realize quickly like who are the people that you want to have a longevity type of friendship with, or people that you can keep in your social circle, right? As a networking opportunity. But maybe those people are going to be more businessy or more surfacey. So this is the time to really discern those types of friendships and who you want to be around and how you're seen. Cancer Sun and Cancer Rising. This is a time that's really focused on career matters. Career matters. Feeling seen, being wanted, being reputable in your space. You are the pro, and you're finally ready to share your talents and your gifts with the world, and not just share them, you're ready to receive the rewards and the recognition for sharing those gifts. So you might in the next 6 months receive a job offer. You might be changing around your career completely and thinking maybe of starting your own thing. It's a lot of shifting in your big, big dreams. Now, this eclipse can bring public attention, but I want you to be really intentional with what that feels and looks like, because sometimes if you're wanting attention just because you want fame or you want this certain viral video, or you want followers where it's empty and meaningless, or maybe you want to get a certain thing to happen on social media or to be seen because you want it to lead to monetary reasons, that's actually going to hurt you in this scenario. Because you are a Cancer rising or Cancer sun, there is definitely a need to help yourself in the highest good, but also while helping others. So again, it's a little bit of taking the energy off of and I'm not calling you selfish because you're not at all, but taking the energy off expectation and putting it toward intention of making good content or doing a good job, and not paying attention to what that means to be rewarded for that or to be praised for that. You are the only person who can praise yourself and give yourself what you need every single day. So even though you might be getting more attention than normal and it might feel good and it might feel your ego, don't do it for that. And the last time this happened in your chart was the periods between 2013 and 2015. The last time this eclipse kind of highlighted this area of your life. So pay attention to what happened career wise during that time, what things shifted. And I guarantee there was a time in there where you were getting a lot of attention and maybe it was inauthentic, or maybe you grew more authentic with that recognition. But I would say this is a time where goals will come to fruition, and don't take your passion for granted. Do things that make you happy, and especially do things with your soul. Leo Sun and Leo Rising. This eclipse is really giving you life and energy and igniting a curiosity within you that feels really natural and feels really good. So you might find yourself wanting to travel. You might find yourself wanting to take classes. You might find yourself learning something completely new, feeling a little overwhelmed by it, but realizing that this is the new way things have to be. But there is a sense of universal trust happening here. And it's also leaving behind anything that feels stale and old or limiting beliefs. You're learning new wisdom, and it feels good to capture this wisdom. And it feels good to learn from others, but also it feels good to teach others. So there's a reciprocal energy that's happening in this eclipse. And again, for the next like 6 months, that makes you feel connected to your sense of self and makes you feel connected to your sense of how you are loved in the world. So there's a lot of opportunities to learn here, a lot of opportunities to grow. There's opportunities to publish. This is a publishing sector. So I don't know if you're thinking about writing a book, or maybe you are thinking about publishing a blog. I mean, there's tons of things that can be published. When I wrote down my notes, and I channel these, by the way, I wrote publish, but I think it's also for the experience of others. Like, you are publishing to grow closer to a community, but you're also publishing to learn, to grow, to honestly spread your wings. So I also want to say, though, to get there, you will have to learn a lot. So really take in the role models or the people that you trust and believe in. And I would say just focus on, if you wanted to like pay for courses from those people, if they have them available, or you wanted to learn more about the subject, if there's anything that's like pulling you in one direction to learn more and to really scale and gain more experience with your skill set, this is the time in the next 6 months to do that. Virgo Sun and Virgo Rising, this is a period of time where you are really focusing on your worth. That could mean maybe your worth in what you are valued for. Like, maybe you want to start charging more for your services, or maybe ask for a promotion or a raise. Or this is maybe worth in relationships. Are you being treated the way that you want to be treated? Are you loved in the way that you need to be loved? Sometimes, too, during this eclipse cycle and portal, in the next 6 months, you might even find yourself settling karmic debts, like relationships are ending and new cycles are beginning. But sometimes it might be a little sticky and hard to really figure out like why it's ending, or if you even want it to end. You might be wanting to hang on, it feels comfortable, but now you're like, oh no, but I know in my soul that I need to move on from this. So this next 6 month cycle is really focusing on your worth. Like I said at the beginning, I also wrote down in my notes, look for opportunities to heal. If things are feeling sticky, if you need to do shadow work, if you need to go back into psychotherapy, if there are things that are being triggered within you, this is definitely time to look deeper within. Also, what can happen in the next 6 months that can be really positive is getting more financially secure with how you are handling your money. So sometimes this could mean like investing in things. This could be, what did I write down? So I wrote investments, credit, finance. And sometimes also too, you can fall upon money in like an inheritance type of way, or you can come upon money in stocks, things like that. So as a Virgo sun and Virgo rising, that's probably something you already have in your radar anyway. So this is a time to invest and really think about how you can scale that capital. Libra sun and Libra rising, this solar eclipse is really ushering in your personal relationships. Now, this is someplace that you really do shine. You connect with others really well, sometimes too well, where you hang on to people and hang on to situations that are no longer serving you. So, with this eclipse, I wrote down you may find yourself reevaluating your connections and letting go of relationships that feel sticky, that feel hard, where you feel like you're even like mentally thinking about it too much, like after an interaction or after seeing this person, you're feeling low, you're feeling weird, you're feeling off. That is a signpost that that is not a safe person. And obviously, because you're a Libra, it's hard for you to like completely ghost or let go of someone. You don't want to be mean, but sometimes your boundaries just have to be airtight and you have to realize that you're doing that for the betterment of yourself and your mental health. So, obviously, you can have a conversation if you want, or if you want to just like do the slow ghost or do the slow fade, or potentially like, maybe see them when it's good for you. That is definitely something that will happen, but I want you to trust your intuition when it comes to making these decisions. It's okay to set boundaries, and I also wrote it's okay to say no to things that don't align with your values any longer. And not all friendships are meant to stay. And I want you to kind of let go of the thoughts that you're being mean to someone or you're hurting someone's feelings for prioritizing your own needs and your own desires and your own values. So I wrote about cooperation, but I also wrote about conflict in my notes here. So definitely there is a time where this 6 month cycle, there can be two different things. Like maybe you are kind of exhausting relationships or relationships are exhausting you. Maybe there's deals in place that are going to follow through, or maybe there's opportunities where you're supposed to be at an event or you're supposed to show up for someone or something, and you just feel like that's no longer serving you. And it's okay to change your mind. So I wrote cooperation because that means that there's actually potential for relationships to get stronger and for maybe even more or new people to come in that are more aligned with your values. And if there's conflict, it's only just because maybe there's projections from others, but you can do boundaries in a way that's loving. And you can also say no in a way that's loving to you and to the other person. So that is your 6 month cycle and something that's going to be coming up during this eclipse. Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising. This is the time to really focus on your health and to focus on yourself. This is a time you might notice changes in your body. Are you feeling off? Are you feeling present? Are there things you want to change or up level? Are you wanting to nourish yourself in different ways? Are you wanting to do more of a spiritual or mindfulness practice? These things are going to be relevant in the next 6 months. And I know that's always a journey everyone's always on, especially with Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising. You're always on this level of transformation and evolution. So even though this sounds like more of a mundane or actually really important, especially as we're leading up to a lot of changes happening in your physical world. So it's important for you to just keep a clean space, like keep things tidy, keep things organized. This is just going to help your mental health in a big way. And creating a routine or a ritual or something that feels very fulfilling to you is going to really be helpful during this eclipse cycle and during the next 6 months. You might even notice changes in the workplace or changes with who you're interacting with every day. And it's going to feel like more positive and more upbeat. And you might even realize there's changes in who you're letting go out of your life. Maybe if you are being of service to other people quite a bit, you realize where you need to, hold back, or you realize where you need to amp it up in specific circumstances. And this can definitely be a time too of new deals, new opportunities coming across your desk, or new things that feel exciting and feel operable and feel more in alignment with who you are. So while those things are happening and you might even realize you're becoming more busy than you have been, that's the time to really focus and center yourself and take the time out of the day to focus on that routine that's going to help you build a solid foundation so you can enter these new deals, these new practices. I mean, like this is just so generic and sweeping, but whatever you're like coming into that's new, a new situation, you're going to have this sturdy foundation because you're going to be mentally sound, you're going to feel healthy, and you're going to keep your place like clean and organized, and maybe organize your brain, right? Like make things feel better there. So when you enter these new situations, you're going to be like, oh, that was easy. Instead of it being like a mental step forward, you're going to already have the preparation there. Sag Sun and Sagittarius Rising. This is a great eclipse for you. It's going to feel creative and fun and full of expression. From now in this next 6 month cycle, I really want you to embrace feeling seen and being seen and putting yourself out there. Remember to embrace your playful side, bring out your joy. And honestly, like this is the time to cartwheel in a field completely naked and I don't know, shoot confetti. But this is just a time to keep your creative juices flowing. And if you're invited to events, concerts, fun comedy shows, or the opportunity to dance, to sing, to be joyful, I want you to take those opportunities when they feel in alignment with you. This is like the time where you're getting out of a funk. You are feeling a little freer and connecting to children. So if you have your own children or if you're wanting to have children, there is a focus on this inner child, but also outer child. Is that a thing? Outer child? This is a time where being playful and joyful and happy is going to come into play. This is actually a great eclipse cycle for you. So just take advantage of the people around you, the opportunities around you, the invitations around you. And if you're feeling stuck or you're feeling like those things aren't flowing enough, it means just get back into a creative expression. And remember, creativity doesn't mean you have to like sit down and paint an entire, mural. Don't take yourself too seriously during this time. And if you do feel in a funk, just remember to get back into your body, get back into your joy, put on your favorite song, dance around, shake out your body, and let things loosen up. Capricorn Sun and Capricorn Rising. This is an important eclipse because it hits the sector of your chart that has to do with home and family life. Strong sense or urge of wanting to create more stability in your life. That could actually mean like moving homes or finding a new apartment or finding a new place where you feel more secure, or that could just be making the home that you live in now more of a stable place. Does that mean maybe like getting a new roommate? Or does that mean if you live alone, finding more joy in your home, redecorating, things like that? It's more about making this cozy and comfortable environment that makes you feel good so that when you're spending time in your space, it is going to be lovely and not draining. It's going to feel like a little bit of this sacred homecoming and this place for restoration and care. This is also a time where there might be people or things coming up from the past that are going to be exciting and going to heal you. If they definitely don't heal you or don't make you excited, that doesn't mean you have to interact with them. But I will let you know that sometimes that does come up during this time when this sector is lit up by the eclipse. This is also a time to clear out any old patternings or old beliefs or any type of like childhood thing that is really kind of harping on your sense of security. This is a time to truly address and acknowledge where maybe those old limiting beliefs have kept you feeling small in some way. I wrote down in my notes involvement with caretaking, nourishing, nurturing, cooking, and feeding others. But also, there is real estate, property, movement happening. Maybe you want to buy your first house, or maybe you want to sell, or you want to just move completely. That can definitely happen in this next eclipse cycle. Aquarius Sun and Aquarius Rising. Now, this eclipse lights up the sector in your chart where it's time for you to speak and use your voice. I wanted to let you know that your voice matters more than normal right now, especially as Pluto is moving into your sector. I want you to use your individuality to make an impact on the world. Don't be afraid to share your thoughts with others, and don't be afraid to be who you are and say what you feel. This is the time where your conversations and your words will probably have like a lasting impact on people. So I wouldn't be surprised if you got invited to speak, to teach, to do things where you're using your voice, or maybe you're singing, maybe you are speaking some type of TED talk. Let's do that. Woohoo. Every Aquarius needs a TED talk. I swear. But it's really about, I wrote down here, using your natural charisma and charm to connect with others and make meaningful connections that will last. So there's going to be a lot of activity with writing, or maybe even the technical side of things. Maybe things are feeling like you want to learn more, you want to dissect more of what's going on in your life, you want to connect closer to your community where you live, your neighbors, things like that. This could definitely be a time where you might notice more of an impact that you have. And it could even just be going outside and taking a walk and finding a new coffee shop and making friends there. It could be something as simple as that, or it could be maybe your social media or connections there are getting stronger and stronger, and you're building more of a client base. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to manifest in your chart, but I will just say feel free to use your voice and feel free to connect deeper with others if that's what you're feeling called to in this next eclipse cycle. Sun and Pisces rising. I have good news for you, because this next eclipse cycle is going to be about your personal finances and personal gain. And I know this may sound boring, but sometimes when eclipses hit this part of our chart, it's also a good time to budget. And I don't mean, maybe I mean being frugal, it depends on your situation, but it's also a time to see where you can save money or where you can reevaluate your relationship with money. So maybe that means like putting money aside every month that's going to be in a savings account that's going to help you for your future. Or maybe this also means money isn't everything. Like, what do you truly value in this lifetime? And maybe it's not a material possession. So there is an emphasis on resources. Like, I wrote down your skill set, your earning potential, your health. Like, on a deeper level, it's things that you find morally sound within yourself, and also discovering what you value most and holding that dear to you. So this is a good time to buy the things you need and invest in yourself. So if you're thinking about a program, a degree, buying furniture for your home, or something that's going to be like long term, this is a great time to do that. But it's also a time to sell things that you don't need, get rid of things, or donate things. This is the time to just reevaluate all of those things that are feeling like they are heavy on you. And hopefully that also means letting go of that space and opening up more space for more money, more opportunities, and more things that align with who you truly are. All right, fast and loose horoscopes for this solar eclipse in Aries. If you want to know more information and want to dive deeper into the April astrology, I highly recommend you download that free report from me. I made it for you with you in mind. Astrology gives us such valuable insights and can change your life when you are truly open to these beautiful blessings that it can give you. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. And also, if you want more clarity, more help making decisions, I do have my astrology bundle that includes my birth chart biz and my Trust the Transits course. And I also have a free intuition email series where you can sign up and get little tips to your inbox. I'm going to have all this in the show notes below. And you know where to find me: my website, spiritsis.com, Instagram, spirit_sis, or TikTok, spirit sis. Sending you so much love for this beginning of eclipse season and all of the beautiful changes I know will happen to you. You are more than deserving of everything that you truly desire and want in this world. Love you. Bye.